So we just had a real heavy downpour, and we're out just documenting where we have some pooling on the ground. Nothing is coming in from outside, but we just have ground saturation. All of this is just ground saturation and gravity. So we're going to go out and look and see how our new driveway worked. So this is the additional 24 tons of AB mix. And again, just a little bit of pooling, but nothing's running in. I doubt anything was really running on the street, or maybe it was. Oh, look at that. We got a deer. That's only the second time we've seen a deer since we've lived out here. So where were we? But really there's no water running. So this is the new lip or bump or speed bump, I was calling it. There you can get an idea. So it's just about up to her knee at the highest spot. We pulled our sandbags aside. Let me show you down the side here. As you can see, there's no water running. Pretty uneventful, but it was really coming down. This water is running out of a neighbor's property. So we're heading over to see if the big wash is running. So we thought we heard the wash running. This one's heading up to Brian and Pam from Midlife Prices. They always have problems with this wash, and we could actually hear this running from our property. So Yvonne said, come on, it's not raining right at the moment. Let's go check it out. And here we'll be able to see what it's looking like. So check this out. This is the wash that we collect our clay from. This wash right here, I'm guessing from here to here, that's probably about maybe 60 or 70 feet wide. And I don't think we're very deep. We've seen it where this entire thing has been full. Oh, by the way, this thing you see right here, that's Brian and Pam's water line. So I think we're going to back up because it's starting to erode here pretty good. All right, we're going to head back before it starts raining on us. Even in just the few minutes that we were down there, this is already diminished quite a bit. Yeah. I mean, here it's probably half the size and half the speed that it was before. That's fine with us.
Absolutely. Young man.
And then we have another, this is another, leave it open. There's another 12 tons of AB mix we have here. And I started defining where we're going to spread this out. And we're going to fill this in with the AB mix, and then whatever's left over we'll probably take up front and reinforce that speed bump. Well, the rain has stopped, and I'm telling you, the humidity is just really just horrible right now. It cooled off nicely, but wow, look at this jungle. Wasn't that like a Guns N' Roses song, Welcome to the Jungle? Holy smokes. I'm not gonna lie, guys, this last week has been really tough. Sitting around, really not having much to do, or not able to do much, I should say. Well, this morning I came out and opened up the tent, and I was greeted with this. The shelves finally broke. It could have been worse. With this bookcase, you gotta realize when we first moved out here, literally the first couple weeks, we found this thing sitting on the side of the road. Someone had just dumped it. And we picked it up. I threw a couple extra screws in it to try to, stabilize it. And it held for almost 2 years. So I think it's time to build a bookcase. I think I can do that without too much physical exertion. Well, we'll see. Okay, guys, the way I'm going to build this is out of 1/2-inch plywood. I just had the most of it, and I had a lot of vertical cutoffs that were long enough that I could do my sides. So but I realized the 1/2-inch wouldn't be robust enough. So what I decided to do was take the plywood, cut 4 equal pieces, use 2 of them as the outside, and then I determined the spacing of my shelves, and I cut the pieces to fit in. That'll create a slot for the 1/2-inch plywood shelf to fit in, and it will also then beef up the overall side of it. I see I missed one. I gotta cut that still. Okay. Now that all the individual components are done, it's time to assemble the bookcase. I've moved everything inside the house just to get out of the sun. As you can see from my shirt, it's a warm day. Now that all the shelves are installed, I'm going to cut some plywood gussets for the corner support along the back side. If I had enough plywood, I'd make a complete back, but I don't. And I also miscalculated the length of the top board, so I'm going to have to trim that off. Otherwise, it's coming together pretty quick. Looks like there's a little bit of a bow on it, but it's for the garage. As long as it's sturdy, stable, and can hold the paint and other things, I'll be good. Morning, guys. It's day 2 of my bookcase build. I'm not going to call it a bookcase. I'm going to call it a utility shelf for the garage. Anyways, so yesterday I finished up by putting these corner braces on made out of 1/2-inch plywood. And I really wish I had had a piece of Luan or something that I could have covered the entire back of the shelf in order to prevent things from slipping off or falling through, I should say. So what I decided to do this morning was to grab some pallet wood that I have laying around, and I just cut slats and I'm attaching it to the back to give just a little bit of a lip so that at least things that are actually sitting on the shelf won't fall through. Now, if I start stacking things up high, sure, there's going to be a hole here for them to drop through to the back. I'll just have to be mindful of it. I'm going to cut these up and finish putting these on. Good morning. Let me give you a close-up and show you what I've done, and then I'm going to wrap it up. And later today, by the way, the tractor gets delivered. So I ended up taking 1x2 material and covering all of the exposed plywood faces with it. And that was for 2 reasons. One, by putting this piece in first, I was able to give more stability to the shelf. I noticed before I had this, the shelf wanted to sag. So what I did was I glued and nailed that in, and I made sure that these ran into the side pieces, and that gave it more structural integrity. So that was worth it. And then, the next step, of course, just followed. I had these gaps here on the ends, and I just decided, well, I got to fill those in as well. So I've got those all filled in, and using my belt sander pretty much as a sculpting tool, I did my best to get everything nice and smooth, and any kind of overlaps and things like that I tried to fill in the best I could. For a brief moment I considered using polyurethane, but then I realized this is all exterior grade plywood. So I pulled out my spray gun and the same brown paint that we used on the trim of the house and gave it a good coat. Here we go, guys, all loaded up and ready for work. It ended up being, I guess I had a senior moment. People cut you more slack if you say senior moment instead of middle-aged moment, right? Anyways, I think I had a senior moment, and I ended up making it actually 12 inches taller than the previous bookshelf. But I was able to make it work. Before I installed it, I took the Luan back off of the old bookshelf and attached it to the back. Let's see if you can see it right there. Not a perfect fit. It's a perfect width. It's a little short in the length, 12 inches to be exact, but it'll prevent a lot of stuff from falling through. Because it was taller, I had to bring it out into the room a little bit more. So what I did was I actually took a piece of 2x4. I don't know if you can see it. And I secured the 2x4 to the frame of the tent. And then I threw a couple screws into the bookshelf, securing it to that 2x4. So it's really solid. And it's level and plumb, which is kind of nice. The one thing I was a little concerned about was moisture with the edges of the plywood on the feet. So what I did was I used my asphalt emulsion, and I really gave it a double coating on both sides. Anything that was touching the ground has that asphalt emulsion in it to hopefully prevent moisture from wicking up into the plywood. All in all, I think it was a success. It holds just about the same amount as the old bookshelf, maybe a little bit more, but it sure looks a lot better, and it's a lot more stable. Just got a call from the John Deere tractor guy. He's right at the wash near our property, and he's afraid he's going to bottom out going over a bump that's been built into that wash to keep the water under control. So I told him I would jump in the truck, come down here, meet him, and maybe I can help him either navigate his way up, or we're going to end up just parking his trailer down there and driving the tractor back to the property. Anyways, I see him right now, and let's see what's going on. Okay, I was able to help this guy navigate our back roads here. He's about 50 feet long total. He's got 2 tractors on the back, and we made it through.
What's that?
You sure I don't get the one with the backhoe?
Not yet. The backhoe's coming.
It is, I know. Listen, I was happy that Matt was able to find it for me as quickly as he did.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So both these tractors are 3025Es. One of them has a backhoe on it, and of course the backhoe attachment that I'll be getting is coming from New Mexico, and that's about probably another month away. But I'm happy to at least get it within a month. I had originally heard it might be 2 to 3 months. And also that looks like it's probably a 12-inch bucket, or maybe even a 10-inch bucket on that one. Whereas I think the one I'm getting has a 16-inch bucket on it. So this is Kenton. He's from the dealership, and he's their delivery guy. And if he's half as good as everyone else at the dealership, it'll be fantastic. So first thing I want to, before I drive, I just want to make sure that my bucket's off the top. And then if I want to do the rear, I want to thank you for coming by, man. You did a great job. The whole service from your place, literally, from Matt in sales to your delivery, really exceeded my expectations, and we really appreciate it. And we're looking forward to seeing you again with the backhoe.
I'll be back.
You guys been great. Appreciate it.
Not a problem.
Have a safe trip, and we'll talk to you when you
appreciate
get back.
Yep. I'll get loaded up and come out of here.
Sounds good. Thank you, Ken.
Have fun with it.
After about a 35-minute presentation, I felt comfortable with the equipment, and Kenton did a great job explaining all of the features and benefits and answering my questions. So now it's time to get this tractor on the property and get to work. Until we get a structure made for this thing, I'm stashing it underneath some big trees, just to keep the sun off of it. I'm less concerned with the rain, but I do want to keep the sun off of it. I purchased a large tarp that we can then throw over the top of it, just in case the rain does come. And it will. I just got done spreading about 12 tons of AB mix. And I was texting with Derek, and I told him, you know, the first 80% of getting it smooth is pretty easy. I mean, you can figure that out pretty quickly. The learning curve isn't too bad. But the last 20%, getting it really smooth and level and evened out, that's going to take a little bit of practice. Anyway, guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for all your support. If you have any questions about our tractor or anything else that's going on here at the homestead, leave them in the comment box below. And until next time, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.